Here we go, G2. Can they salvage this series? Can they bring themselves to that coveted Dust 2? First thing, Mirage, that T side, the pistol. And they're going to go for the A hit straight away. And FaZe, well, they've dropped Nico straight away. That's a good start.
Rain looking over the smoke, but the bomb's not being planted for him. Player in Palace as well. Pistol round can always be reclaimed for a disadvantaged spot. So let's see Croman in the connector position. 2 plays in CC. Jungle play will be important here, and that's Kenny. Now life gets even harder.
Life is real hard right now. I think G2 won both pistols on the first map as well, I think. So, well, at least, you know, that's a good start. If you can win all the pistols, that's definitely a good building block. But so far, FaZe have been pretty good at smashing the building blocks by winning some of the force buys and generally doing a lot of damage in the rounds to follow. We'll see if that's the case here. I think this is really interesting because, you know, G2 start off on what I would say for them at the very least, and should be by far the harder side. Like that T side of Mirage, it's very technical when it comes to how you place all of the grenades to take map control in middle and so on and so forth. And if you can't take middle, a team like FaZe will probably be abusing that, and they'll take middle for themselves. They'll be able to get so much information from it. So there's a lot of challenges here that we're looking to see G2 tackle.
Okay, Croman announcing his temporary place in FaZe. Nico with a Deagle. Very long story with that Desert Eagle. G2 don't really, I mean, they have existence with a rifle, and everybody else is relatively short range. So this could be a very interesting round. I do wonder what weapon was dropped in mid as well on Kenny. Seems Croman is heading in that direction to collect it, if something is there. A Mac 10. So maybe some bonus money to be had. Guardian moving close, as is Nico. What is the play here for FaZe? Are these players going to bait their teammates out? Rain being the initial engager. Guardian unable to do anything. Croman by connected with the Mac 10. He gets picked off as well.
Oh, oh, that is unbelievable from Rain. Surely not. He's left body on very, very low health as well. Karrigan, he's coming in and then nicely softened up. At least body is. Oh my God, just having to recover a bit from that ridiculous display. Oh, Karrigan looking away just the wrong moment and somehow can't find the single bullet required to take down body. But that was not a round that FaZe were supposed to win. You can see Nico has been unhappy. He was unable to get some of that Deagle action. Wow. At the longest of ranges. Yes, give me the slow motion.
Nice. Eco Town for FaZe. Let's see the cash. I suppose Guardian will be AWP no Kevlar in the next round. They'll have to play to avoid some grenades. So does Kenny see 3 or 4 players there? Most of his team are in mid. They won't want to necessarily funnel through connector. See Shock's in a good spot, so... Ooh, look at this. He hears all the rotation. And his team will quietly make their way towards the B-bomb site. Have they been heard, though? Even if they have position now, which is very important in a round such as this.
Ooh. Some tagging there from Shocks. Although he'll go down in the end. G2, though, they will get that 3-0, but the 3-0 has not been super clean, which is not the best. It will not give G2 a lot to weather any storm with. If FaZe are to win that first buy round, it's going to really, really take its toll on G2's economy straight away. So G2, I'm so curious how the buy versus buys are going to look. I'm really, really curious about it. Are we going to see these sort of very clean Mousesports-esque type mid takes to, you know, kick things off? It's unlikely. Wow. Okay, that is not good. Everyone died and Guardian picked up an AK. That is, I think, the worst way.
Do you give it to Rain? Do you give it to Nico?
It's the worst way to win a round, isn't it?
Do you give it to Rain? Do you give it to Nico?
Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it?
Oh, Guardian's going to keep it.
I respect that. Showing him who's boss.
He'll have bonus money for a sniper later on. Maybe they intend to take Kenny's sniper rifle. He's bought one on this first buy round, so we'll see how that one plays out. Nobody in the mid window, but gets smoked off immediately. There's a smoke by Connector for the CTs to peek as well. Looks like it could be a fast play, but that smoke grenade is going to be a problem. Now, how does Carrigan defend from this? He is essentially facing a triple peek. He hears a grenade going off. Both sides flash, and he manages to escape, and now Croman is there to clean up. Absolutely disastrous start for G2 in this round.
Yeah, and the timing from Existence, he came in slightly too late there as well. But yeah, that's a round you would see a lot from some of the Danish teams. I think, especially from North, I think I saw a lot from MSL and even from Glaive a few times as well. That's the IGL runs up catwalk, the rest of the team goes out the apartments for a very fast split. Can work as a really strong anti-force buy or an anti-eco, as well as working in some of the gun rounds. But there, got absolutely blown up, and you can see the result of G2 losing all of their players in the round previous to that. They have no money straight away. That sucks so much. And that last round was won so clean by FaZe. This could get scary real quick if G2 aren't able to keep the pressure on. They have to do damage in these rounds. They have to take guns away from FaZe.
They're just waiting for an overextension, I suppose, to jump on the box, because they had the numbers. There are 3 of them there. They've got no flashes or anything to go past the window. They've just got to have somebody take some shots and go for it, but they don't do that. They don't get the peak they were looking for, and now they've got 2 less men than they had before. Now you see Croman trying to limit how exposed he is when he jumps, but he sees body moving up, and there is a teammate there. Off angle from Carrigan. Very safely played. Avoiding the apex off his jump being in the peak, which would have made it easier to shoot him in the face, Croman. And now it's Existence left. No damage done.
The funny thing is, I wonder if there was a kind of like a minor tell there, because typically when players jump peak that, they actually go all the way to the end instead of just sort of, as we saw, Croman just peaking in one corner with the jump. As you said, he timed it well, but still, I wonder if that was a small tell. That was a cool setup. You don't actually really see that too often, but we've seen already FaZe on Mirage, and the dynamic between Croman and Carrigan has actually been really effective so far.
Well, here we are again. All eyes on G2 to see what they can do. Trying to get info around the balcony position. Existence jumping in case there's a sniper rifle player holding the tight angle. Going down those stairs, you can be picked off. There is a pixel gap from the balcony position. So G2 being very careful, respectful, trying to identify what kind of setup there might be here from FaZe. 3 players around the connector for FaZe. When do you see a setup like this? Range position is completely unseeable from Palace. If you had a scope on the ramp, you wouldn't see him either. Normally you can, but if you're standing right in the corner, it does elevate your position a bit, because there is a gap under those bricks, a pallet.
FaZe playing pretty conservatively at the moment. Really not using too much in the way of utility. They're not going too aggressive, which is really cool. We'll get back to that point though in a moment, because the action's starting to kick off. The G2 side have decided to push into this A bomb site, and so far they're trading out pretty effectively down to Guardian, Croman and Carrigan as they come in for the retake. Carrigan able to stop Existence from taking control of the window room. That's really important.
Do we see somebody rotate through T-spawn back into mid? I do wonder if Kenny is going to do that. Checking for the flank at the very least, but we've got body going all the way, sorry, shots going all the way. Oh, they're both doing it. So even if they pick off one, wow, they're really entrusting body. Even if body goes down, surely FaZe won't expect 2 players to be on this rotation. So there are 2 smokes though for FaZe, so that could be a disaster. Body repositioning, a lot of time is being spent here. There is Kenny picking off Croman. Now Guardian's the last man standing. It works out for G2. Very unexpected play there.
You can see Body taking a deep breath. That's a pretty crazy play, James. That's you're definitely praying that not only is Body a god in this position, that also the push from FaZe is slow, because that was a fairly slow push from them. G2 though, very important round one, and it was a fairly simple one, just pushing for the A set piece. And now one of the responses that FaZe can go to is aggression. They've been quite passive so far, and I think a lot of the motivation for that is they're testing G2. They're saying, okay, G2, are you guys gonna just create your own problems? Are you going to create your own mistakes for us to capitalize on? Do we need to even try to force mistakes and take risks to do so, or can we just allow you to present your mistakes to us? And so I think G2 are making an argument now that FaZe need to get a bit more aggressive, but we'll see how that goes.
Kenny has 2750 in the bank. You might wonder why Existence just has the deagle. Well, not everybody needs to peek at the same time. Talk about timing. Oh, he goes back for it. Very awkward for bodies to try and trade. Smith picked off as well. And Existence can now pick up a weapon. So it seems he's prioritizing Kenny being able to buy a sniper rifle than having to need a rifle himself. And with the way Kenny's been playing, I think that's a good decision. But it hasn't been good enough to have too much success in this round so far. 3 versus 5 with 40 seconds on the clock. Body picked off. Existence still carrying the bomb, but there isn't a single kill in this round just yet. And now that's the bomb spotted on the radar. He's very exposed in the middle position and has to fall back.
Shox, he's got to find something special here. And Carrigan is holding a pretty commonly held off angle. But it's very strong. It's a reason that it's commonly held. Can Shox do it alone? He's going to be peeking out into this, and he will get it. Carrigan can't land his shot, but Croman certainly can. And the health for Existence is very, very low. He does get the bomb down, which will be the guarantee of cash, an additional $800 for each player, but the round will be conceded by G2, and FaZe will be surviving with 3 players.
That was an important round for G2 to win. It would have broken the bank of FaZe, but they don't do it. In fact, it is their bank that will be broken. This will likely be an eco round. They will take a timeout, perhaps to discuss the information they've gleaned in terms of positioning and habits of players and what they can try to do to break it in the rounds to come. So it's about 3,000-ish, probably average for G2. Might see the odd pistol from them.
Yeah, it's a really tough spot to be in at the moment. G2, I would like to see more attempts at just converting mid-control into connected control into ladder room control. Really start testing G2 rather FaZe from that perspective. But at the same time, I think FaZe are going to start putting more control into those areas, more focus there as well as the rounds progress. We haven't really seen FaZe unleash themselves and play too loose just yet, giving a decent amount of respect to their opponents. Speaking of which, it's going to be a fast one into the A site, and it will be held effectively by Rain. And looks like G2 can't get too much here.
Pre-fire from Rain. 1 by 1.
They are done.
Barrel of the gun. 4 apiece. It's tied up. G2 on the buy again. What will be different this time? Do FaZe expect some kind of unusual play? Do they do something to try to stop that from happening? Something aggressive perhaps from FaZe? Guardian and Rain moving into the A site, both taking some aggressive positions. Guardian looking to walk into a peak of the ramp at a very close range, and as you can see, Kenny is there as well. Checking for a grenade execute perhaps. And they continue to creep. So indeed, it will be FaZe taking very aggressive positions, expectant of something special from G2.
And this makes a lot of sense. These set pieces, it's a very anticipated go-to for G2 again, a team that aren't going to have a lot in their playbook right now. Oh, the head not spotted. Shox is going to find Guardians, though. That leaves Rain to do all the damage. That's one. A continuation spray. Very good for the next one. Rain's found the bomb. He's done the damage. He's only got a player to worry about in the apartment's position, but his teammates are fast to respond with a nice rotation to give him the support that he needs. And G2, despite having 3 alive, now 2, are in a very, very tough predicament.
Even though nobody was there, that pre-fire from Rain on this corner where Existence is was completely nasty. Doesn't need to give anything away. He's trying to delay them as much as possible. No flank from the CT side. Now Existence standing where Guardian was checking earlier on. Rain in the corner in case of a flashbang, just facing the wall. There are both the frags from G2, 2-on-2 now. Karrigan moving into the connector position, or maybe staying in mid, because there is time to rotate. I don't think he would get any sound cues if they run through B apps, so he's forced to make his way. Oh, I think both. This is very interesting now. They wait a few seconds, and it's going to be 1 CT per site, but the T's have split as well, so seems Existence is moving for a split. Loses the duel, but he's got the info as to the position of the one player on the A site. Shock's going straight for the plant because he knows it's 1 versus 1. That is quite smart. Can he pull the gun out in time though? No! Just short of being able to pull the trigger. But that was a novel approach. I think a lot of people would just go 2 to 1 site, expecting a 2 versus 1, but that's arguably a safer way to do it. Existence, the sacrificial lamb.
I feel like every time we see Croman, he's just smiling. He's just having a good time so far.
Ha, I'm playing for FaZe.
No, exactly, yes. But he's doing a great job in the positions that he's been given so far and working well with the team. And I mean, what a great opportunity to show the world that you've got the skills. I'm sure his stock will go up should FaZe do well, and that's another frag from the man. Although it's just pistols to worry about. Very nice flick from Guardian. He's going to continue. We've seen so much like this from him before.
Wow.
And he'll continue to be clean, clinical, and convincing in his performance.
Always like a brief eco round. All right then. Attempt number X for G2. 10 rounds in. Well, this is the 11th round. A little wiggle on that shot. It's a lovely flick from him. He is a robot. Karrigan will have the second sniper rifle in this round, so a change in approach from FaZe. Not going to allow G2 to get too familiar with what they're trying to achieve. They'll mix it up with a second sniper. Ooh. A flash into mid for Nico to have a look, but Kenny was maybe waiting for that. Now Shock's trying to use that distraction. Maybe FaZe feeling vulnerable in mid. Ooh, but Rain spotted him from triple.
Yeah, trying to force his way up. Create some pressure. But the 1v1 against Rain is never going to be an easy one. Oh, throws the nade out, peeks with it. Actually works out, perhaps, sort of a fake flash, but then being an incendiary, Rain is able to clear space. And look how much Rain is able to move around this area. Rain is doing so much work by himself.
But that action has allowed Body to start creeping into B apps. It caused the rotation, leaving Karrigan on his own towards B, but Croman's gone straight back. How many people are behind Body, though? That is a question. But G2 are still set up to make a play towards A. And I don't know if Rain hears some footsteps, but he's not seeing anything. And now it's a split of the A site, but can they do it fast enough before Karrigan gets into position? Sorry, Rain does. Croman picked off now 2 versus 3, but Guardian has angles from CT.
But they don't know about Rain. They think he's still on the site. They have no idea he's made this play. Rain could just shut this round down by himself. Controlled bursts. That's exactly what you know Rain for. And Guardian with the finish. Rain set him up so nicely. And he dunks it. Beautifully done. Rain's play by himself as the solo A-man there was just phenomenal. Just from start to finish. From the moment Shox is pressuring him, all the way to just understanding he's in Palace and he can push all the way around for that flank. Beautifully done. And Karrigan working the crowd as well as working the server.
That was really interesting because the round was going back and forth. You had the flank in Palace at the same time. After Shox' duel, they knew that there was a chance, an opportunity to perhaps make a play towards B. Body starts moving through B apps as there's a rotation, kills the last man on B, but then Croman comes back. So many different ways that could have gone on both sides. But ultimately, it is FaZe Clan once again with their 5th round in a row now. From 2-4 to 7-4 for FaZe Clan. G2 will have 4 AKs in this round. Kenny on the CZ. Not quite the cash he wanted. Not quite the gun he wanted. 3 players making their way towards top mid. Guardian has angles thanks to his smoke. This is why the T's don't smoke this side of connector, because it can prove very dangerous for them. Ooh, being teased. A rare miss from Guardian.
Yeah, so somewhat of a mid presence here from G2. Ooh, what?
A headshot
He
again.
got the heads? I thought he caught the hand, but it's actually the headshot through the wall, of course. Would you expect any less from Guardian? He's finding headshots in all kinds of weird spots, but Existence will finally take his scalp. But Croman, again, he's been such a steady rock towards that cap position, as well as supporting Carrigan whenever he's played the B-Abs. So 2 players left now for G2. Their mid-take has really backfired, it would appear. Body looking to make an individual play here, get his team onto a bomb site. I say team, now it's just him. And that bomb is lost, and now he is lost as well. 8 rounds for FaZe on the CT side, 4 for G2. FaZe are looking very comfortable.
Eco buy, eco buy, eco buy. That is the current story for G2, and it's not a joyous one. Their lead was brief and oh so long ago. Pistol once more. So a late buy from G2 in this round. Again, they got that max loss bonus, so they'll invest some more. It was, I think it was Titan when Existence had a funky eco round towards B, which I mentioned for like years and never saw it again. Maybe some weeks from now it will make a reappearance. I don't even remember what the round was. It was so far away. Oh, maybe G2 can get a bomb plant. I don't know in this round. They beg for mercy, and FaZe Clan say no.
Pretty much. FaZe lineup assembled to dominate. And that is all that they know. Nico's searching, and he's going to find himself some frags. A frag, I should say. Does get traded out, but his teammates can finish off the rest. He spotted the remainder of G2 in the connector / mid position. Boost comes up into window, but body's picked off. Kenny is the sole survivor. With that bomb, though, he's got the package. He's going to try and plant it. There may be an opportunity, but you can see Carrigan's running all the way back to the bomb site, and he has spotted Kenny S. There's no way in. And Kenny S will have to try again next round. But next round is going to be a better opportunity as the money is there finally for them. But this could still be an 11-4 half if they're not careful. And it's really difficult, James. I mean, because imagine being in G2's position here. You kind of need people to just create amazing spots for you from an individual perspective, because they can't just run A set pieces over and over again. They can't just run B splits over and over again.
Not many rounds left with which to make something happen. Will 4 rounds be enough? Time will tell, but probably not. Kenny looking for Guardian. Guardian has had the upper hand, even with Kenny racking up the kills on the previous map. Didn't take the map. Existence looking for a peek from Connector. Rain with a dodgy angle near Palace. They lie in wait for G2 to play their hand. It seems FaZe might be in cahoots with the dealer. 2 spotted. Nico outstays his welcome though for once. Now we might see an A split in hand. Bomb on the ramp. 1 in Palace. Rain gives a sound cue away. They know somebody's in shadow position now, but how do they deal with Guardian?
It's a good question. I don't know if we'll find an answer. Oh, well, Shox is going to be the answer, it seems. A very fast response. Rain also is going to be taken down in the shadow position, as the bomb site will be G2's. And once more, it's a success on the A takes. That's the major success for them so far. That nade will sail deep into the corner and not do too much damage to Smiths, actually. He'll be burning, but he'll get out of the flames. And it's Carrigan who's been put into the flames now as he's in a 1v2, and he'll be swiftly dealt with. So again, these A set pieces, these quick contact plays, these push into that bomb site, that's really where the success has generally been found here by G2.
Much needed round by the French. Carrigan's gone to Old Faithful. Sometimes we see him play CT A with an auto sniper, and that's what he will be doing on this occasion, on his own. So where is the rest of the team going? Guardian and Nico through the crawl space. The bomb headed with a second player towards A immediately, which means it's going to be an A play ultimately.
The classic position for an auto sniper.
It always has mixed results there. I don't feel like it ever really justifies, even in 1 round.
Yeah,
on Mirage.
If you face, if there's an AWP that peeks you there, you're unless you get the headshot in the first bullet, you're going to die. So that's the main issue with that.
It is psychological warfare, though. Even if they lose the round, the fact that they brought one against you is offensive.
I suppose so, in some respects, and you don't see it too often. I do wonder if, FaZe were more aggressive in mid. They haven't seemingly done any mid pushes at all. I feel like if you take mid away from G2, they just don't have options that look good at all. But looks like Nico will be able to do the damage with the rain as they start to make their way forwards on mid. And the raw aim battles continue, and it's traded out to a 2v2 here. G2 are finding some success individually there, and it's going to be down to Guardian once more as he comes in from CT with that AWP. Oh, well, maybe rain.
Never mind.
There you go.
Never mind.
He seems surprised. I think that was that a wall bang as well? I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but 10-5 is the final score of the first half. FaZe in the lead.
Rain, 18 frags and 7 deaths as they switch sides. G2's turn to defense. Getting straight into it, both the teams. So let's see what is invested. Rain picking up a P250. Karrigan and Rain with some grenades for the T side. Everybody but Body on Kevlar for G2. Smoke and Diffuse kit for Body. So let's see what they opt to do. Will it be a B rush? Will they bounce the flash off the wall, out the window? Looks like he's lining it up. Learn that flashbang. Oh no, it's a smoke grenade first. So G2 don't really know how many players are here because the window has been obscured. 1, existence spotting 2, 3. He's got 1 kill. Body's been picked off though, and there goes existence. 4 versus 3.
Indeed, it's looking like finally G2 may lose a pistol, but I shouldn't speak too soon. Kenny's going to be in there and quickly out of there as well. Down to Smiths. His return to professional Counter-Strike, it's been a rough one. You've been put up against teams like FaZe. Not the most easy of journeys back, but a trial by fire is always going to be effective, I think. It's separating the wheat from the chaff.
Saving the Kevlar is Smith's choices taken away, as there have been in many of these rounds, to be honest. So what will G2 choose to do? Measly 1,500 on the players, 1500s. Will be the force buy, it seems. It's a rough week of Counter-Strike.
Indeed. FaZe. Ooh, they're going to be looking to go for a fast A play, which seems they've got Karrigan to create distraction towards the B-bomb site, and there's actually quite a few players who may, this is a good potential that he could hold a lot of players there. There's 2 on the bomb sites.
It's a nice nuisance smoke, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just annoying.
Here's the real push. Those are the real smokes. Oh, the flash is pretty good, but Guardian with the jumping Mac 10 is going to be good for it, taking down Smiths. And the bomb will be planted. It's a 4v5 retake with Deagles. I don't really fancy the Deagles in this situation, but maybe Shox has something to say about that.
Karrigan spotted a second player in the window as well, so just 2 players to figure out where they are. There's 1 more. The rest of the team can just focus on where the last player is, which is Shox in CT, and there he goes. Existence has the UMP, and he will try to use it in a better position in a future round to make some more money for his team. Maybe even give it to Kenny and hold on to the Deagle, although Kenny's got 1,800 in the bank, so he'll be fine to get the sniper rifle in a buy round regardless. I think he was dropped Deagle in that round by somebody else. So we're looking at 5-13 before G2 leave the station in this half. It's rough if you're a G2 fan, eh?
Yeah, just generally, it's been a very turbulent time for G2 in a previous lineup as well. A lot of ups and downs. Rain, straight out there though. They only have stock pistols to contend with, except the singular Deagle on Kenny S and the P250 there for existence. But generally speaking, it's going to be tough for them to find too much value. And FaZe are fairly happy to just go for this A split here, taking over middle and then pushing through connector at the same time as that pit push, and it's going to work out fairly well. Body, though, able to pick up that AK-47, doing some good damage. It's a 1v2 all of a sudden, and it's gone a little bit wrong here for FaZe, but they should be able to get onto that B sites. That said, Body could actually get there in time as well. But he doesn't know that they're going straight for that B site. Or maybe he does. Oh, looks like he could get caught here. Oh, will he find a good timing to evade Guardian? Oh, no, it won't be the case, unfortunately for him. A good effort, though, from Body. But the round will go to FaZe, and that's 13 now for them. A mere 3 more, and they're on to the semi-finals.
Right then, we need a big performance from Kenny. He's got the AWP, he's got the Kevlar. But what else does he have to offer? Smith's alone on the A site, Body and Shox on B. Existence in the window, and Kenny rotating to A quickly. Maybe Smith has heard something. He's in the... Well, you can see where he is. Really checked for, though. Nico moving wide. Smith not taking any aim just yet. He's completely blind. Some of the teeth, but he still managed to trade it. Existence with a spray transfer. Cleaning up. Guardian now versus Body and Shox. And we've got a crash from the Observer, but I have another screen, even though you guys don't. Guardian is in the 1 versus 2. He's moved down the ramp towards T-spawn with the bomb. There we are.
Backups, James, backups. It's a good life lesson here. Always have a backup. Guardian, he's trying to juke, he's trying to drive. He's got a minute still after all of this. And there's a really big question mark here for G2. Now, the position of Shox, I think he will be able to hear running in T-spawn. I don't know if he got there in time to know for certain that Guardian has or has not run in T-spawn. Guardian, this is such a tough position. You've got to pick an option and just discard the rest. You just got to gamble on it. That's the kind of spot Guardian's in right now. But also it seems as though G2 are giving him some respect. Oh, he's going to go deep.
A lot of people would, who are watching might just plant the bomb here, but he expects one person to be A, one person to be B. So the CT has got to be somewhere. He just can't figure out exactly where he is. Need to get the X-ray on, I think, because there is a player in CT spawn just around the corner. In the face. Why is it always the face, Guardian? Where is the last player? He hears a flashbang. Can he figure out where he isn't? Shox on the site now, dropping the smoke, trying to draw Guardian out, but is he brave enough to hold? It's a 10-second defuse. Guardian makes his way. Oh! Shoots him in the arse.
The face in the arse. not the most... Not the best options there. That is an amazing clutch from Guardian. What a play. Just juking both players, circling all the way around, just playing it perfectly from start to finish. That is the class of that man, and that is why he is on FaZe.
Again, Carrigan with the nuisance grenades. You never know when there's going to be loads of people behind that. Offering the same evidence, but the play may differ from one round to another. More aggressive than previous rounds, Carrigan. Meanwhile, look at that, it's a B split. We've got 3 players moving very quickly. He's running distraction. There is a smoke in between one of the arches, so there is some cover for the CTs as well. Body of a fast play, but he's not expecting these players to come in. He has no idea they're there. And that is the B bomb site, but Existence is flanking from apartments. He's giving some sound cues away though. Surely he's been hurt.
What a strange situation. Rain, he needs to deal with Existence. Oh, if Existence could just stay alive, that would create so many issues. Now Kenny S is going to be expected, and he's going to be held off. They did a lot of damage to him. In fact, he's going to back away. Do they fancy their chances at this point? An MP9 of Fatmaster weaken Kenny S. It's not a good look here. And, oh dear. Kenny will go down, as will Smith. Very, very strange situation. Works out quite well for the FaZe lads, though, as they now are on 15 rounds. One more round, and they are straight to the semi-finals. One map closer to defending their title.
I suppose this is how it should be. A team versus essentially a mix for the time being. Is this the end of the road for G2? They've got 4 rifles on the 5 players. Kenny will peak with a certain timing from the triple position, but what can he get out of this? There are 3 players waiting for him. Smith may be a distraction, though, trying to be the hero, trying to save his teammate, but he can only maybe can't kill. And Now Shox will bait his teammate, his good friend Smiths. But maybe it's too late. 3 on 3. Shox around the stairs position, smoked off. Does he jump into sandwich? There is a player waiting there. And Existence is rotating behind these players.
Now it's all eyes on Existence. That flank, it has to be successful. That's one frag. Guardian so weak. The orb comes out, and he's good again for it as Nico and Guardian look to be in a good spot to defend the bomb, but a nice headshot from Body will take Nico out of the picture. But Guardian, doesn't matter how much health he has, if he has an AWP, he's a problem. Shox will deal with it eventually, but it goes down to the very last man. Neither team really seems to have money in this situation, but FaZe are the one with the routes.
Life in the old dog yet. The first round in the second half for G2. He was searching for that sniper for quite a while. Well then, 9 rounds for G2. It is a very, very long road, and there is little oxygen at the top. The incline might be too much for these players on this occasion. Let's see, by coming in for FaZe, they can for the most part afford the rifles. It may be a tough defense here for G2.
No margin for error, James. You're playing against some of the best individuals that have ever graced Counter-Strike, and you've got 0 margin for error. It's not a great situation to find yourselves in, but at the very least, you know, G2 are playing on the CT side now, which I think makes life easier because they don't have to have this playbook. They don't have to, you know, open up certain areas of the map in the same way. They can, you know, it's the aggressions are easier to play off of each other with, and holding the bomb sites, that's something that they're already familiar with. So maybe there is some comfort to be found, or we'll have to see. That's a great flash. No, surely not. That should never happen. Body can't follow up. That is just, how do you describe that?
There is no description for that. None. 1 minute 20. And maybe that has been the story of G2's tournament so far. Running straight into Existence though are Rain and Croman, and maybe the comeback is on. Existence doing great work, but is it too little too late? Guardian has been heard, his scope has been heard, he repositions, Shox. They know that each other are there. He sees the flashbang. Guardian's alone. He's got the bomb. He's got a minute on the clock. He knows where both of these players are. So many flashes coming in. How does he avoid getting traded? Kenny not waiting around. Crisis averted for now.
You could almost see it, couldn't you? Just the Guardian, the guy that should have died, the person walking around on the server that should be dead. Clutching the 1v2, but it wasn't to be. Kenny S, perhaps one of the only AWPers, maybe the only AWPer that's faster than Guardian, or can be at a similar speed. And we'll see G2 hold on for a moment longer. The run through the fire here for FaZe. They want to get this one over with very quickly. Run and gun. But for them, it's not been all that successful. No fun to be had. And there you go. There you go, James. Fast eco rounds.
Marvelous.
You're happy.
Only 1 round required. FaZe will see that one as inconsequential. Let's just get to the rifles. The AKs. FaZe on AKs with 7 match points. That is quite a problem for G2. They are well equipped though, G2, but can they deal with these AKs? Molotov into, oh, we've got a push here from G2. Flashbangs kick things off. Karrigan trying to pre-fight, double peek with Guardian more or less. Body picked off, the trade is there. Karrigan cannot do anything else about it. The bomb has been lost top mid. The CTs may not choose to defend it from this position because it would pull them out of formation quite a bit. Indeed, they'll back off to something more traditional and sit on the current advantage.
Yeah, you still have Nico, Rain and Croman left, so it's not a bad situation for FaZe in the 3v4. I do wonder, you know, what things look like if Karrigan... Ooh. Yeah, that's Nico. 3v3 now is... Ooh, Shox finding him from CT. He was not anticipating that. Very good timing. But still, you know, this is a minute left for FaZe to find a way back into a bomb site. And the G2 defense is going to be stretched here, stretched thin, as they only have 3 players to defend with. And they are going very passive to make it as safe as they possibly can. The bomb is in a position to make its way towards A, but really Croman is going to be very important here. And it doesn't look like this is going to go too well for him, jumping into the face of Shox. That is not a warm reception from the likes of Shox.
Rain in a 1 versus 3. Bomb planted. It's a bad plant for him. The default plant. Rotation slowly coming in from G2. All 3 players with kits, 2 flashbangs. A Molotov that probably goes to fireboxes. Smoke which maybe goes to ramp, maybe goes to Palace. He just needs to avoid the high ground. He can get the 1 versus 1. Shox jumping into the sandwich position. There's the first one. 2 more required. Elevating his position. Pop flash off his own, but it goes too deep. And they're just going to hold the bomb plant. He's waiting for a second player, but they're both in the same place. Round number 9 for G2.
The bomb did go down for FaZe though, and they did make that somewhat expensive. Although, of course, at this point, the money doesn't really matter at all, for G2 at least, as they are 1 and done. That's an important one. So I have to see whether or not FaZe are going to find a way to break this defense. You feel like it's inevitable. You know, with this many rounds, if FaZe give up overtime, they can't be anything but incredibly frustrated there, because they've got so many chances to make this work. We've got 4 rounds won in a row here by the G2 side, and with the bomb plant and the 4-round loss bonus, the money is going to be fine for FaZe to create plays with, and we will see them going for that.
Following FaZe's tactical timeout, G2 have gone for double sniper rifles. Ooh, FaZe, this is interesting. I mean, they've got the money to do this because now it's their turn to be at max loss bonus. So this will be a very dangerous round indeed. Flashbang towards top mid, but Kenny S is moving up top, mid on his own at the moment. 2 plays over towards B, and Kenny's rotating very quickly indeed, but surely his scope will be heard from a short position. Do they have smokes for these positions themselves? Shox flashed off his area, can't get the first frag. Now they're at close quarters, these T players. Trying to abuse the numbers game, but it's really not working out for them at all. Guardian quickly 1 versus 5. Doesn't get anything out of it, and G2, 5 rounds is all of a sudden not that many. They've got momentum, they're building confidence, but FaZe Clan are now on their full buy.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried for them, as I saw, Shox missed that first AWP shot. And he managed to then connect the second one, but if he doesn't connect the second one, he dies. And if he dies, there's so much space created, that round could very well have been lost. So we're looking at these rounds being decided on a knife's edge, honestly. A razor's edge. Kenny S will kick things off though, as Guardian will be lost in top middle. Nico, Tracers, the battle of the Tracers. It will be Nico that wins it, as middle is also won by FaZe. They're in a 4v4 with good map control, now a 4v3. This is starting to get a little bit suffocating here for G2. How do they deal with this? Do they make a play or do they play passively? That is stunning though.
Almost on Croman, almost, but the adjustment came too late for Smiths. Nico waiting for a rotation bomb. Moving past Nico's angle as he holds, but it's Kenny here at the back. Being flashed again, but if he peeks, they try to plant default. Oh, Croman was in the red, but there we go, stereo frags, and it's 16-10. FaZe finally finish off G2, who can now go and try to build a team amongst this new roster, but FaZe continue on in the tournament, these ECS finals.
Yeah, FaZe, looking to defend their title, and it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they're capable of that. Their previous rivals in the last finals in Season 4 at Cancun was, of course, Mousesports, and that was a thrilling series, and they FaZe won it with pure class. And we're seeing a lot of that here today. I'm really enjoying Guardian's form. We've seen some really great rounds from him. There's definitely something special about each of those individuals on the FaZe team, and it's just always a joy to watch them play.
You could see FaZe trying to run away from Parla, but you can't escape Parla. It's not really possible.